This man has a plan and a vision to bring Chelsea back to its best. And trust me when I say this is the exact reason why Lampard is special. And this is the reason why we should trust him and have faith in our club.
He's got the American Frank Lampard!
Still top of the pile. Chelsea hits Eden Hazard. 8 in a row.
Comes out to Essien! Unstoppable, unsavable.
It does look. There's the end of an era.
People have come up and said a lot about Frank Lampard. That he's not the right man for the Chelsea job. That he's not a good manager. He's not good enough for Chelsea. But how can you expect anyone to perform with a team that was literally being carried by one single player, and that player too has left? Yes, Chelsea was being carried by Eden Hazard for the past couple of seasons, and you really can't expect them to just pop out of nowhere and perform when they don't even have him anymore. And Lampard finishing fourth with this team is a really big achievement. My journey began with us lifting the Champions League with Roberto Di Matteo as a manager, but the board ended up sacking him the very next season. Just because he wasn't good enough. It wasn't him who won us the Champions League, but it was Peter Cech, it was Didier Drogba, it was Frank Lampard, it was John Terry and numerous others who did not lose hope until the very last minute against Bayern Munich that night. Us finishing 6th the very same season shows what the manager brought to the club. A board has come under a lot of scrutiny for not being able to trust our managers, but is that really so? Chelsea have always backed their managers as much as possible, both financially and mentally. A lot of them had proved themselves on the biggest stage, but they were still not good enough for Roman to trust them with his beloved Chelsea. Maybe because they lacked passion, because maybe they lacked persistence. It's fairly easy to win a title once, but what takes courage is winning it over and over again. It's not about showing that you won it, but that you won it and you have dominated it ever since. And not many in the whole world have done that, and that's the exact reason why they are the best. This is just his second season managing a top tier club, and he's already playing Champions League football with a bunch of promising academy graduates. People are talking about Mikel Arteta performing so much better with Arsenal, yet not considering the fact that he worked under Pep Guardiola as his apprentice for a very long time, and he got to learn from the best. Jurgen Klopp, he took more than 3 years to finally build the Liverpool team that we see today. Yet we are talking about Frank Lampard's capabilities in his very first season as a manager. You can say everything about this guy, but trust me when I say this, the club has backed every manager the same way. The only difference with Lampard is that he's been a blue all his life. This guy bleeds blue and he has come here with a vision, with the goal to develop Chelsea into something that no one ever saw coming. He might not be the most brilliant managers I've ever seen, but he's definitely someone who will work the hardest and who will do whatever it takes to become the best. We might not have seen the very best from him yet, mostly because of the fact that it's just the beginning of his second season at Chelsea. He spent a whole season fielding one of the youngest sides Premier League had ever seen. This was probably the very first time we saw so many academy graduates feature in the senior team together for us. This transfer ban, in my opinion, had really helped us a lot and Lampard figure out the talent we already had in our team, and I guess Lampard did an amazing job in bringing the best out of them. And to be very honest, players like Mason Mount, Fikayo Tomori, Reece James and Billy Gilmour, to name a few, have shown us that they are no less than the best and they're ready to fight for their place, whatever it takes. This season hasn't been too good to Lampard, but still he came out on top and showed how much potential this young team had even without his best players. And now, when he has gone out and picked the very best players whom he wanted to play in his system, there's no stopping him. You know, if you try harder, you might see that Lampard hasn't been like any other usual manager in the Premier League. During the transfer window, he chose to buy players who he felt would fit his system rather than buying the best players out there. He has bought players who have proved themselves in their respective leagues. Rather than buying in promising talents, he chose to fight and compete with the bigger clubs to bring in proven players, so that our youth can strive to become better and more competitive by learning from the very best, and that's exactly what makes him better than the rest. We have a new but still a very young team, with a lot of passion and hunger but a bit less experience. We need to trust this process, give our players the time they need to bond with their teammates on the pitch. This team has the potential to dominate Europe and the world in the coming years and become the very best anyone has ever seen. This man has a plan and a vision to bring Chelsea back to its best. And trust me when I say this is the exact reason why Lampard is special, and this is the reason why we should trust him and have faith in our club. Keep the blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.